Hey, what's up, guys? Sunny here presenting Team Deck. And I got here one of my friends, Eric.
What is up, guys?
So he used to play like Yu-Gi-Oh with us and back at school and stuff, and he decided to build his own card game, kind of flex his creative muscles, and this is one of like his best games, I feel like. And
Yeah, there were 2 or 3 older ones. This is the average of the best parts of all of those, and that really is what's keeping this one working so well.
yeah, this is more of the explaining what the game is, kind of how it plays, and we'll do like gameplay in later videos. So you want to start?
Oh yeah, sure.
Ahmed?
We don't really have a name for this yet. I haven't thought of anything cool enough. This plays like a couple other card games where you have a few life points. Once they've been taken out, you're out of the game and you lose. In a basic game, depending on the number of players, you'll either do 3 life points apiece in a 2-player game, or 2 life points apiece in a 3-player game.
And it plays really well with 3 people, I think.
Yeah, it's one of the better games for a specifically 3-player game. On your turn, you'll have 3 different actions you can take, and there's a couple different options. You can either draw a card. You can do this multiple times if you want. You can do this multiple times if you want. You can take any of these actions as many times per turn as you have available. You can draw a card. You can attack with one of your combatants in play. You can refresh your deck. We play with smaller decks, and if you deck out, you're not penalized, you don't lose, you just can't draw cards anymore. So for an action, you shuffle your discard pile back in. Or you can play a card. There are 3 different types of cards in the game. You have combatants, which have the cost and the number of actions to play.
Oh yeah. Probably show the card.
Yeah, that helped. They only have a few basic parts of the card. You get the name, you get the cost, which is the number of actions required to play it. You have the
So the cost on the top right?
yes, the cost on the top right. The power is the number next to the little sword there. That's just its combat value for when you're battling, only 1 stat per card. Generally, it goes on a scale from about 10 to 20.
Treated 50. I'm trying to know.
A few are higher, a few are lower. There's also some combatants that can't attack. They'll have a blue shield instead of a red sword, but they say on the card themselves that they cannot attack, so that's just kind of implied and helps you remember. For example, this has a cost of 1, this has a cost of 2. There are almost no cards that cost 3. They're pretty much all 1 and 2s. Then you have some cards which are attached cards. These have a blue-green instead of plain blue. They're like equip cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! They're stat modifiers. They have a cost to play just like anything else. Oh, and I forgot to mention the others. The text box, if it has an ability, it'll have that ability in the text box next to its card type, which is italicized. Attached cards have their stat on the bottom, and it'll be plus or minus whatever amount. That is specifically so that you can put them underneath here and still be able to read them. The last card type is support cards. These are sort of like regular spell cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! You play them, you resolve their effect, they're sent to the discard pile. The rest of these stay out indefinitely, except for these. However, any of these 3 types of cards can also be impatient. Regardless of the type, impatient cards are always orange and have an exclamation mark instead of a cost.
So it's like instants and...
They're like instants and magic. Rather than having a cost, you can play them at whatever the time given is. Several of them are play at any time. Certain others are play when you're being attacked, that sort of thing. And then they have an effect that resolve. An impatient can be a combatant or an attached or a support card. And they play exactly like they would other than the time when you play them. They do not cost any actions to play themselves, and you can play them during other players' turns. And that's about it for the basics. Combat works very similar to Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you select one of your own combatants, and so if they have any combatants out, you must select one of theirs as the attack target. Or if they have none, their own life. Regardless of the strength of a combatant, they only take 1 life per attack. And in any other case, when 2 combatants battle, it's simply the one with the higher stat prevails. If it's a tie, they're both destroyed.
What about like how you lose life and how things are stuff like that?
Oh, that's a bit of technical stuff. you can only lose 1 life per round. So after your turn begins, until the start of your next turn, you can only lose 1 life for any reason, period. That's sort of to keep players from ganging up on each other in multiplayer games. Additionally, you can't take any damage until the end of your first turn. So if you go first, then you're able to be attacked with the other person.
Up to how many people can you play with it though?
2 plays really well. 3 plays actually very well too. It's one of the best 3-player games we've got.
I'd say we're still trying to figure out the rules.
I'm still trying to iron out the rules for 4+ players. Hypothetically, you can go as many as you want in free-for-all style. The games and like the wording on cards and such is meant to support any number of players. But I just need to get specifics down for rulings on how large games will work.
What about sudden death?
Oh, sudden death. Just because it's no fun sitting there while you wait for a game to wrap up. In a 3-player game, when when 1 player is eliminated out of the 3, sudden death begins, which is simply the 2 players that are left. Neither of them is allowed to take draw actions or refresh actions to refresh your deck. You can still draw cards with card effect, but other than that, you just can't draw, period.
What's the hand limit?
There's a hand limit of 6 cards. You just discard down at the end of your turn. Used to be infinite, but it's only over here.
Yeah, me and Brian would have like what 20 cards in our hand,
We would
and
just
I
sit
got
on
a
something with like 20 or 23 attack.
Yeah.
They would fill up to
Draw,
about
draw,
like 10
Yeah.
10, 12 cards in hand, and then enter sudden death.
But I do like how there's like definitely a strategy aspect to this.
There is.
Like it plays a lot like Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's simplified down.
Yeah, a lot of the more complex rulings. I've tried to fix timing and other issues like that as I've gone. Things like that. I just sort of make these cards as I go, and whenever I find a cool picture, make up a card for it. I've got about somewhere around 80 or 90 distinct different cards and a couple copies of certain ones of them in the deck right here. We do not play our own individual decks. Rather, we'll have the full stack of 100 or so, however many. You deal out about 35 cards to each player. Then they take those cards and narrow them down to a 25-card deck. So it's sort of a draft, but sort of not. But it allows a little bit of room for you to build a good deck out of the cards you have to work with.
Yeah, 'cause it's annoying when it's, what was it, dealt 25 each? And
Yeah, it used to be that you use 25 random cards, and that's kind of all
so now
right.
you have to
but,
deal with like, oh, I have this crappy card in my deck. Can't
exactly. If
take
they're-
it out.
I try to make most of the cards pretty good, but there's not really a lot of cards that are entirely worthless. It just depends on your play style. But yeah, that's just so you can sort of customize the cards you get a little bit before you start.
Yeah, because there's still stuff that synergizes together.
Yeah, there are no archetypes. No cards refer to each other by name. It's there's no real aspect to the stats besides the numbers and the effect text. So
I think that's.
there's
it
no
with
types, archetypes, anything like that. So all the cards mesh a little bit better with each other.
that. Yeah. So anything else?
Nothing I can think of right now. You all ready to go?
Yeah, so we'll play a couple games to kind of show how this works. I'll make sure to show every card and we'll explain what each card does and all that. And yeah,
All right. See you all in a second.
all right, signing out.
Get some game version 2.0. Peace.